Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jawad. Thanks for watching my channel. 2 seconds, favor. Hit the subscribe button down below, and next to it is the bell notification. When you hit that, you'll be first to be notified when I upload videos like this. If you're watching on Facebook, thank you very much. I always appreciate growing an audience. Again, too, if you find this information valuable, please share with a friend. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button down below because you'll be first to be notified when I upload videos like this. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the show. Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jawad. In the short video, I'm going to answer a question. I have a handful of emails that were asking me, Doc, I have peripheral neuropathy, not due to degeneration, not due to a bone pinching on a nerve, not due to stenosis, not due to, fill in the blank, any type of nerve compression. I have peripheral neuropathy due to the fact that I am a type 1 or type 2 diabetic, I have insulin resistance, and also borderline Alzheimer's, which is type 3 diabetes. Okay, so in this video, I'm particularly focusing on the causation is diabetes or insulin resistant. So what is it? A disease or dysfunction of one or more peripheral nerves, typically causing numbness or weakness. And again, there's a variety of symptoms. It could anywhere from be pain, burning pain, numbness and tingling. Usually in the hands, but most common in the feet. Why in the feet? Well, because the feet is the farthest from the heart, and it hits the longest nerves first, because as they're long, the most distal end have the least amount of nourishment. This is why a lot of things happen in the feet, whether it be diabetes stuff, toe fungus stuff, any type of dysfunction, it's going to happen in the longest nerve first and then work its way up. So what happens with diabetes or diabetes-like? It's due to the fluctuation of insulin and sugar. Now, sugar causes damage to what's called the endothelial lining. In the arterial system, the first lining is the endothelium. Now, what happens with too much sugar, it nicks the inside of that lining, causes vascular injury. Okay? Which will also, too, insulin is pro-inflammatory. So you're having a double whammy. The fact is you have decreased blood flow to the nerves, and then when you have decreased blood flow to the nerve, you have decreased nourishment to the nerves. Now the nerves, I always say, it's kind of like a paper towel roll. So you have the roll, the cardboard inside, that's the nerve. The paper towel around it, that bundle, that's called a myelin sheath, and that's basically fat. So this is where we need fat to help with nerve function and nerve repair. So what happens when you have diabetes-like or high insulin blood sugar issues, you're decreasing the function and the size of the myelin sheath. And this is where you get the numbness and tingling from. So what happens, again, the process, it's a process. Now this takes a while, so it just doesn't happen overnight. I always want to remind my patients. It starts off as tingling, then the pain starts, pins and needles, and then eventually you feel the numminess. Now the key thing is about peripheral neuropathy, any type of metabolic, it's always bilateral. If it's a nerve compression only hits one side, but anytime I hear bilateral, hands, feet, whatever, I'm immediately thinking metabolic. Okay, so this is a handful of supplements that I recommend in no particular order. Now, the thing about the B vitamins are key vitamins and nutrients for your nervous system, whether it be the formation of serotonin, dopamine, the neurotransmitter, so forth and so on. It's good for, this is where I start. I always want to start my patients off at a good B vitamin. Now again, if you don't have access to the individual vitamins, starting off with a B complex is a good start. Now, these three vitamins, B1, B6, and B12, are essential for, again, for the rejuvenation of your nerves. B1, thiamine and benfotiamine, those two in particular, okay, this is a fat-soluble vitamin. Typically, B vitamins are water-soluble. This is a fat-soluble vitamin, and this is going to help, and it's really what happens is that it's about 5 times more absorbent than the B1, okay? And I recommend 600 milligrams a day because that also is going to help restore the nerve bundle, the myelin sheath, I'm sorry. Vitamin B6 in the form of P5P, okay? Peroxyl 5-phosphate. Now, what happens is that, as well as B12, I always recommend methylcobalamin. Because if there's a condition, MTHFR, which doesn't allow you to break down the B vitamins, especially B6, B9, and B12, this is why I always recommend, let's get the methyl, let's get the broken down version first, okay, just to be on the safe side. The B vitamins in combination, the main function is to promote nerve repair, especially the myelin sheath that surrounds the nerve. Your goal is to restore the paper towel around the roll, because that's going to help with the nerve function. Also, alpha-lipoic acid. I've done videos before about alpha-lipoic acid, ALA for short. Again, antioxidant is going to be a phenomenal to help detox the body of free radicals, which may be causing the peripheral neuropathy. Okay, 1,200 milligrams a day, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. It also helps lower the blood sugar. So when you help lower the blood sugar, okay, it's going to make the cells more insulin sensitive, and you want that. You want it because it's also going to decrease inflammation, hence increase the nerve repair. Acetyl-L-carnitine. Now there's L-carnitine and there's acetyl-L-carnitine, or L-car for short. Again, 1,000 milligrams first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Now the key thing to note is about acetyl-carnitine is that it does cross a blood-brain barrier. We have a protective barrier around our brain that only a few things will pass. L-carnitine does not. That works on a different system. Acetyl-carnitine does. So it's also good for, again, it's an antioxidant. It helps maintain the mitochondria. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. The mitochondria makes us produce our energy currency in the form of ATP. It boosts acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is phenomenal for the synapses of our brain, of our nervous system. So it's going to rejuvenate the brain cells. Next, N-acetylcysteine. NAC for short. 1,200 milligrams, empty stomach, first thing in the morning. Whether it be N-acetylcysteine, cysteine, glutathione. Again, glutathione to the body is the most powerful antioxidant we have. It helps clean out all free radicals, helps restore liver, helps restore our body function. Okay? It will decrease the nerve pain, which will increase the nerve repair. So N-acetylcysteine is good, 1,200 milligrams on an empty stomach on a daily basis. Next, turmeric. Turmeric, or again, curcumin. It's phenomenal. I've done videos on it before. Turmeric is a phenomenal anti-inflammatory all over. Okay? It enhances neurogenesis, which means it's going to enhance the function of the nerve cells. It's going to help build that up. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory, help increase nerve regeneration. Boost serotonin and dopamine in the brain and the gut. Also, I didn't write that in though. It also helps make your cells more insulin sensitive. So it's phenomenal for the diabetic, the insulin resistant person, or again, the patient with Alzheimer's or even dementia. Fish oil. Fish oil is phenomenal. Key thing about fish oil, it's good for overall body. It's good for brain. It's good for eyes. It's good for systemic inflammation. It's good to, again, lubricate the joints. It's good for the hair, skin, nails, teeth. Remember the myelin sheath? That is a fat layer. Fish oil is, again, it's a fat, which will help increase the repair of the myelin sheath. Now the question is, how much do you take of fish oil? Again, the key thing that I always let my patients know is the two key ingredients are EPA and DHA in fish oil. Yes, you may have 1,000 milligrams. Okay, no. Let's break it down. Let's slow it down. EPA is awesome for systemic inflammation. The DHA is good for the brain and eyes. Now the question is, how much do you take? Good question. EPA, you take your body weight, add a 0 to that, and that's the minimal amount of the dosage I always recommend my patients to take. So let's say if you weigh 150 pounds, okay, add a 0 to that, the dosage should be a minimal of 1,500 milligrams spread out throughout the day in divided doses with food because it's fat soluble. That should help with your body again, to make you feel overall better. Okay, so I hope this helps. If you have any questions or comments, please fill them down below. You can see that I answer the questions. If you have any suggestions on future videos, please do that as well. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.